And I heard about these 3 rabbis that they were out in a lake on a fishing boat. 3 together. It was a very, very quiet place, very peaceful environment. And then one of the rabbis said, look, we never have this opportunity to be the 3 of us together here. And look around. So peaceful, so quiet. So maybe we can use this opportunity. And we can actually say and share with each other some of our deepest secrets. And then perhaps if you're struggling with something, we can pray together for each other. Wow. So one of the rabbis said, okay, I like it. And actually I would like to share with you, my friends, my colleagues, that I have a problem with gambling. You see, sometimes I sneak out of the house at night. My wife doesn't know it. My congregation doesn't know it. The second rabbi say, well, now that you mentioned that, I have a problem with cheating. He said, I never pay my taxes. My wife doesn't know it. My congregation doesn't know it. The third rabbi remained very quiet. He didn't say a word. So the other rabbi said, come on, tell us something. Nothing. I said, come on, we won't get off this boat until you share something with us. So the third rabbi said, well, my problem is with gossiping, and I cannot see the day to get off this boat.
I thought the punchline of your joke was going to be 3 rabbis went on a fishing trip.
No.
I was trying to imagine you, me, and another rabbi.
But I like the title of this sermon. Be quiet. Actually, that is. I want to talk to you today about be quiet. You know, and I was realizing that sometimes we have so much stuff flooding our heads. I don't know if it ever happens to you, that we have so much noise inside our heads all the time. We wake up in the morning to find, our inboxes full of messages. We have text messages on our phones, WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages. We have sometimes our kids, adding more noise in the morning, social media. Then we have the news. So much going on in our lives. And we are absorbing everything. And this is interesting because we realize that, and we know that we should find a way to quiet our minds. But nevertheless, it looks like we have the tendency to gravitate towards that. Doesn't matter how much we know that we feel overwhelmed for everything going on, we seem to go there, and sometimes we even add more and more stuff and noise to our daily routine. I was realizing that, yes, sometimes we have too much at home, too much at work, but then we come into our cars. Should be a peaceful time. What is the first thing we do? We turn on the radio, right? Or sometimes even when we take holidays, we can take a vacation. What do? We use the time to watch TV, to read a novel, to play video games. Always. We keep adding more stuff and more noise no matter what. And I say, why? Why do we have this tendency to add all this noise into our lives? And I realized that maybe sometimes we are afraid to be alone with our thoughts. Because what happens when you finally have the peace that you deserve and you're alone with your thought? Well, those are times that maybe you may wonder, who am I? Or what's unique about me? Or what do I stand for? What do I believe in? Am I doing the right thing in my life? Am I doing what makes me happy? Am I doing something that is fulfilling me? And sometimes we don't want to go there. So we just bring more and more noise so we won't have the space that we deserve to make all those difficult questions, because we don't want to know the answer. And I believe that if there was somebody in history who understood this principle very well was Pharaoh. Yes, the Pharaoh that we read in this parsha. Remember what happened when Moses finally goes to Pharaoh and Moses said, let my people go. The Israelites don't want to be slaves anymore. Let them go. And Pharaoh said, oh, perhaps now they have too much time to think about being free, to think about other things that they would like to do. Really, said Pharaoh. So Pharaoh gave them more tasks, more jobs, more things to do, so they won't have a break to make all those fundamental questions, and they will question about their lives. Is it good to be slaves? Maybe I can achieve to do something more. Pharaoh wouldn't allow that. So he brought more stuff and more noise into their lives. He understood that principle. And I believe that God understood that principle as well. Think about this. In this parsha, God finally talks to Moses. God finally told Moses that he was the one, the deliverer, the one that is going to take the Israelites out of Egypt. But have you noticed that even though Moses did great things during his life, and I was thinking, why wouldn't God tell Moses that he was the one when Moses intervened and actually killed the Egyptian to save a slave? He stood up for a slave. Great thing. At that moment, God should say, Moses, you're amazing. You are the one. But no, God didn't say that. Not even when the parsha said that Moses, who grew up in the palace, he grew up as a prince. One day he looked at his brothers suffering, doing all this harsh labor, and the Torah said that he went out, and the rabbis understand that actually Moses helped them with their tasks. Why didn't God spoke to him there? Why didn't God spoke to Moses when he defended the daughters of Yitro? Why didn't God spoke to him when he was working for Yitro? Because Moses at that time, even though he was doing great things, he has too much noise in his life, too much stuff going on. And maybe it's not that God didn't try to talk to Moses. Moses wasn't ready to listen to the voice of God for everything that was going on. When did God talk to Moses? When he was alone. And after, in that environment, when Moses saw the burning bush, and he comes to that burning bush and was nothing else. When Moses found that quiet place, finally, God spoke to Moses. And after that experience of having this quiet time between Moses and God, Moses finally discovered, well, I know the Torah says that actually God told him, but I would say the big picture, the big principle here is that Moses realized, he discovered that all those hidden talents that he had, that Moses didn't even realize that he had it. Moses didn't realize he had it on him to be the one taking the Israelites out of slavery. Why didn't he realize that before? Because he never found that quiet place to have that deep conversation with God, and I also believe deep conversation with himself. And I realized that maybe in this last year, we have to stay at home. Maybe we have lots of time for us to be alone with ourselves. But we kept bringing more and more noise because we don't really know how to be alone with ourselves. We don't realize that eventually we have to go there. We need to have that deep conversation with ourselves to realize that there are certain questions that we have to ask. Who am I? What's unique about me? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? Am I doing the right thing? So we're thinking, next time you have an opportunity to be all by yourself, instead of complaining, take that as an opportunity. Get inspired by this parsha and ask yourself those questions without bringing any external noise. And I can guarantee you, just like Moses, that you are going to make it to the other side with inspiration, with more passion that you didn't even realize you have it in you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Eshek Koyach.